She said we should keep everything in my name just to make things easier. I said sure. Months later she tried kicking me out. I let her until she found out every bill, mortgage and car lease was under my name. Now she's paying me rent. I'm Dave, 34, and honestly still processing how someone can be this short-sighted about money. This happened 3 weeks ago but feels like a lifetime. Sarah and I have been together for 3 years. She's 31, works in marketing, makes decent money but has always been obsessed with appearing successful and in control. About 10 months ago when we decided to move in together she pitched this idea. Dave, I'm really good with paperwork and organizing. Why don't I handle all the accounts and bills? Just to keep everything streamlined. Made sense. She was detail-oriented and I hate dealing with utility companies. Here's where I made what she thought was a mistake but was actually the smartest move I ever made. The apartment we wanted was expensive. With my income being about 50% higher than hers, the landlord required me as the primary leaseholder. Sarah's name went on as an authorized occupant. But Sarah wanted to feel important, so I let her set up all the utility accounts in her name. Electric, gas, internet, water, all under Sarah Mitchell. She loved the control. The car situation was similar. Sarah's Honda was dying and she needed something reliable. We found a nice certified pre-owned Camry. The financing required my income and credit for approval. I'm the primary on the loan. She's listed as an authorized user but she insisted her name go on the title as well since she'd be the main driver. For 10 months this worked fine. I paid rent directly to the landlord, then transferred Sarah money monthly to cover the utilities in her name, paid the car note directly. She handled calling companies when there were issues. She loved telling people about her bills and her car and how she managed everything. I just smiled and went along with it. 3 weeks ago that arrangement blew up spectacularly. Sarah's been distant lately. More time with coworkers, especially this guy Marcus from her team, working late weekend projects. I wasn't going to be that boyfriend who accuses without proof. Then I got the proof in the worst way possible. I was using her laptop to check my email because my phone was dead. Her messages app was synced and a text from Marcus popped up. Can't wait for our weekend trip. Finally told my wife I'm working late Friday. My stomach dropped. I opened the message thread. 3 weeks of planning secret meetups, talking about their connection and discussing me like I was just in the way. The final exchange was brutal. Marcus, you should just end it with Dave. You've got everything set up already, your own place, your own bills, your own car. You're basically independent. Sarah's response. You're right. I'll handle it this weekend. I sat there staring at this for maybe 20 minutes. The hurt was real but anger was bigger. She was planning to dump me using the independence. I was actually funding as her reason. That calculating part of my brain kicked in. She wanted to play games with who controlled what. Game on. I spent the next day quietly gathering information, called each utility company. Hi. This is Dave Peterson. I need to understand the billing structure for the account under Sarah Mitchell's name that I've been paying through bank transfer. Turns out when you're not on the account you can just stop paying. No obligate notice required. The car loan was even better. I called the finance company. Since I'm the primary borrower, I have the right to review payment options. Ask them to send all correspondence to my address only going forward. That weekend Sarah announced she was going to a work retreat until Sunday night. I knew exactly where she was going. While she was gone I made my moves. First I stopped the monthly transfer to her checking account that covered utilities. Then I called each utility company. This is Dave Peterson. I've been making payments for account holder Sarah Mitchell through personal transfers. I'm discontinuing those payments effective immediately. Please send all notices to the account holder. By Monday Sarah had no idea the money train had stopped. 3 weeks passed, then the bills started arriving. Thursday evening Sarah came home looking stressed. Dave, something weird happened. The electric company sent me a past due notice for like $280, but I thought you paid utilities. I transfer you money. You pay utilities but you didn't transfer anything this month. That's correct. She stared at me. Why not? I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshots of her messages with Marcus. Her face went completely white. Since you and Marcus think you're so independent with your own place and your own bills, I figured you could handle actually paying for them. Dave, let me explain. Nothing to explain. You made your choice. I'm just letting you be as independent as you wanted. The panic set in fast. Wait, how much are all the bills? About $420 a month total. She grabbed her phone, probably doing math. Her confidence evaporated. Dave, I can't afford that plus my other expenses. My budget was based on you covering those. Sounds like a planning problem, but this is crazy. You're being vindictive. I'm being exactly what you wanted out of your financial picture. She tried switching tactics. What about the car payment? What about it? I can't afford a car payment and all these bills. Then you should have thought about that before planning your exit strategy with Marcus. Update 1 week later. Well, this escalated exactly like I expected. Thanks for all the comments. Some of you predicted this perfectly. Sarah lasted 5 days before the first utility got shut off. Water company doesn't mess around with late payments. Tuesday morning she was panicking. Dave, they turned off the water. I can't shower, can't do dishes. Did you call them? Yes. They want the full past due amount plus a reconnection fee. That's $380 total. That's unfortunate. Dave, please. This is getting out of hand. You wanted to handle your own bills, handle them. She tried guilt. So you're just gonna let me struggle after 3 years? You're not struggling. You have a job. You just need to budget better. That evening she dropped her ace card. Fine. If you won't help with bills, maybe you should move out. I can get a roommate who actually contributes. I actually smiled. Go ahead and try. I'm serious. I can handle this place myself. Sarah, you're not on the lease. Her confident expression cracked. What do you mean? The lease is in my name. You're listed as an authorized occupant. Check the paperwork. I watched her run to the filing cabinet, pull out the lease documents. She read through them twice. This says you're the primary tenant. Correct. But I set up all the utilities. In your name, yes. But that doesn't make you the tenant. The reality hit her like a truck. So you could kick me out? I could, but I won't need to. Check your utility bills again. She looked confused until it clicked. The bills are all past due and getting more past due every day, but I can't afford them. Then I guess you have a decision to make. Update 2. 2 weeks later. This is getting interesting. Sarah tried to solve her problem in the most predictable way possible. She lasted another week with various utilities getting shut off. First water, then gas, then internet. Electric company sent a final notice. Last Friday she came to me with her solution. Dave, I've been thinking, what if we split the bills? Like you pay half and I'll pay half. Why would I do that? Because we live together. We live together because I allow you to live in my apartment. She didn't like that answer. That's not how relationships work. Sarah, you were planning to break up with me to be with Marcus. We're not in a relationship anymore. I told you that was a mistake. You told me it was a mistake after Marcus's wife found out and he ended things. Her face went red. Yeah. That had happened. Apparently Marcus's work retreat story didn't hold up when his wife started asking questions. That's not fair. What's fair is he paying for the utilities you wanted to control. She tried a different approach. What if I just moved out? That's your choice, but where would I go? That sounds like a you problem. Dave, come on. We can work this out. We can. You want to stay here? You pay me rent. Rent. But I'm your girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend. And only ex because I found out you were cheating before you could dump me. So what are you saying exactly? I'm saying if you want to live here, you pay me $650 a month. That covers the utilities you wanted to manage plus a contribution to rent. $650. That's almost half my take-home pay. Welcome to being an adult with bills. She was quiet for a long time. And if I don't pay, then you find somewhere else to live. This is blackmail. This is market rate for a room in this area. Check Craigslist. She did check. Came back an hour later looking defeated. Fine. But I need a few days to get the money together. Rent's due the 1 every month. Today's the 28th. You have the weekend. Update 3. 1 month later, Sarah paid on time. Turns out when someone actually faces homelessness, they get real motivated about deadlines. The dynamic is weird, but it works. She pays me $650 monthly rent, handles her own utilities, which she now pays religiously, and we basically live like roommates. The car situation got interesting too. She made the first payment after our arrangement, but barely. Second payment, she came to me. Dave, about the car payment. It's really stretching my budget. Okay. Could you maybe take it back over? Why would I do that? Because you're on the loan anyway. Sarah, you wanted your name on everything. The title has your name. It's your car. But I can't afford it with rent and utilities, then sell it and get something cheaper. She looked up the car's value. I owe more than it's worth. That's called being upside down on a loan. Also your problem. Last week she asked about reducing the rent. My expenses are really tight. Could we do $500? This isn't a negotiation, Sarah. It's $650 or you find somewhere else. But Dave, we used to split everything. We used to be in a relationship. Now you're my tenant. The best part is how this solved my original problem completely. I wanted a partner who contributed equally. Now I have a tenant who pays me rent and takes care of her own expenses. Sarah learned that independence costs real money. Having your name on paperwork doesn't make you independent if someone else is paying the bills. The Marcus situation died predictably. Turns out he was way less interested when she became financially stressed and couldn't afford to go out anymore. She mentioned it during last month's rent payment. Marcus and I aren't talking anymore. Okay. He said I was too complicated. Makes sense. Dave, I know I messed up. Do you think we could try again? I looked at her. A month ago she was planning to dump me for a married man. Now she was paying me rent and asking for another chance. Sarah, you're welcome to stay here as long as you pay rent on time, but we're not getting back together. Why not? Because you showed me exactly how you think about relationships. Something to use until something better comes along. I've learned my lesson. Good. That'll make you a better tenant. Final update. 2 months later. Time to wrap this up. It's been 2 months since Sarah tried to leverage her independence to break up with me. She's paid rent on time every month, $650 exactly, no complaints. Amazing how quickly someone learns responsibility when they actually face consequences. The car payments have been interesting to watch. She's made them, but I can tell it's killing her budget. Last week she asked about selling it. I found someone who might take over the payments. That's between you and the finance company, but your name is on the loan. As the primary borrower, yes. Which means if you stop paying, they come after me. So you won't let me sell it. I didn't say that. I said it's your problem to solve. She looked into transferring the loan. Turns out her credit alone won't qualify for the remaining balance. She'd need me to co-sign a new loan or pay a significant amount down to make the numbers work. Dave, could you help me refinance it? Why would I help you get out of a financial obligation you agreed to? Because it would get your name off the loan too. My name on the loan doesn't bother me. I can afford the payments if needed. So you're just going to keep me trapped? You're not trapped. You have choices. They just all cost money. That's the real lesson here. Sarah thought she was so smart having her name on everything while I paid for it. She confused having control with having responsibility. Now she has both. Her name is on the utilities, so she has to pay them. Her name is on the car title, so she has to make payments. And my name is on the lease, so she has to pay me rent. The revenge isn't complicated. It's just natural consequences with no safety net. I've actually started seeing someone new. Met Jennifer at a work conference. She's a financial planner who owns her own condo. When I told her about my living situation, she just laughed. So your ex-girlfriend pays you rent to live in your apartment? Yep. And she's stuck with a car payment she can't afford. That too. I'm impressed. Most people would have just kicked her out. This way is better. I get rent money and she learns what independence actually costs. Jennifer finds it hilarious. Sarah finds it less amusing. She saw Jennifer's car in the parking lot last month. Are you dating someone? That's not really your concern. It's weird having another woman around when I live here. Sarah, you rent a room here. What I do in my personal life doesn't involve you. The landlord-tenant dynamic is perfect. Every complaint gets filtered through that relationship now. She tried one final manipulation last week. Dave, I've been thinking this whole arrangement is kind of weird. Maybe we should go back to how things were. You mean where I pay all your bills and you plan to leave me for married men? That's not what I meant. That's exactly what happened. I said I was sorry and I accepted your apology. That doesn't mean I trust you with my money again. So we just live like this forever. You live like this as long as you want to keep renting from me. She hasn't brought up getting back together since. The best part is this arrangement actually works better than what I had before. I wanted a partner who contributed financially. Now I have a tenant who pays market rate rent and handles her own expenses. Sarah wanted independence. Now she has it. She just had to learn that independence means paying your own way. Not having someone else pay while your name is on the paperwork. Some people asked if I feel bad for her. Not really. She made adult choices and now she's dealing with adult consequences. The same consequences I was dealing with all along, just without help. The difference is I planned for this. She didn't. Thanks for following along. This turned out better than I expected. Sarah got the independence she wanted and I got reliable rental income. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting reality do the work.